Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We're continuing our Necron index with part 3. We're going to do flyers and fast attack, which is obviously houses some of the most popular units from the last couple of editions of Necrons. You've got Scarabs, Tomb Blades, Wraiths, Doomsides, Nightsides, so we've got all the toys to look at. Hopefully they're still awesome. Previous part 2, we went through elites and dedicated transports. We found the Ghost Ark still awesome. We found the Trite Stalkers awesome. Trite Praetorians are awesome. The Satans are back and awesome. Flayed Ones and Death Marks are solid. Leech Guard are basically as good as they are, but maybe slightly better to be fair. So happy days there. So yeah, pretty good all round really. So we're getting on to flyers and fast attack. So we're going to go with the Night Scythe first. It's got weapon skill 6+, strength and toughness 6, 12 wounds, so that's nice for a flyer. Leisure 10, and it's got a 3+ save, so it's definitely survivable. Remaining wounds, the movement goes 20 to 60 to 20 to 40 to 20 to 25. Bliskill goes 3, 4, 5, so Bliskill's never that bad, so that's good. You hit on 5s, which isn't terrible. And attacks go 3, D3 and 1, which is fine, you don't want to be in combat anyway. It comes with 2 Tesla Destructors, which is I think going to make this model quite destructive as well as having its transport capacity, because 1 Tesla Destructor is a 24-inch range, assault 4, strength 7, AP dash, damage 1, each roll of 6+ gets 3 hits, but you've got 2 of them, so you've actually got 8 shots, so you're averaging 1.5 pretty much, 6s. So although you'll only hit with approximately 5 hits, you'll actually get 4 hits back, and so you'll actually averagely hit with all your attacks +1, give or take. So, and you know, AP nothing's not brilliant, but strength 7's pretty good, so you just got to pick on stuff with low armor. Living Metal, so it gets wounds back on top of those 12 wounds. Airborne just means it's a flyer. Hard to hit, so subtract 1 when you're shooting at it, which like all flyers. Supersonic, each time this model moves, it's just got the flyer rules. Crash and Burn, which we know about, which is if a model is reduced to no wounds, roll d6 before moving up the battlefield. On a 6 it crashes on people basically and inflicts more wounds. So Invasion Beams is the only other rule. When you set up this model at the same time, you can also set up any number of Dynasty infantry units on the Tomb World. Before the Night Scythe moves in each of your move phase, a single unit that's set up on the Tomb World can be beamed onto the battlefield by the Night Scythe. Do so, set it up wholly within 3 inches of the Night Scythe and more than 1 inch away from the enemy. If all friendly Night Scythe models are destroyed, anyone in the Tomb World is slain, or just having too good of a time to come to the battlefield. So, how much are you, Mr. Night Scythe? You seem awesome still. 174, does that include your Tesla Destructor? It does. So, absolutely no complaints. Night Scythe, go out and get it, or keep them in your army if you've already got them. Invasion Beams is still good. It's got 12 wounds with a 3+ save and Living Metal, and it's hard to hit because obviously it's a flyer. Its firepower is very good for a transport. Brill, yeah, absolutely. Night Scythes, still get them. Doom Scythes, okay, so same stat line as the Night Scythe, same modifications, it gets hurt. It has a death ray and 2 Tesla Destructors, so obviously it loses its transport capacity, but you are getting the 2 Tesla Destructors from before and the death ray. Death ray is 24 inches, heavy D3, strength 10, AP -4, damage D6, so it is brutal. It's like a +1 strength last cannon, and you get D3 shots. Yes, you could roll a 1, although 1 shot isn't still horrendous with a weapon that good, but you're obviously going to average 2, and plus you got the Tesla Destructor shots. Obviously it can split its fire now as well, so if you're facing an army, let's think who it could be, Chaos, and you want to fire the Death Ray at a Land Raider, and you want to fire the Tesla Destructor because it's less likely to hurt it or hurt it a lot, at a Demon Prince, cool, go at it. So that's brilliant. Living Metal, so again tough to kill. Airborne, hard to hit. Supersonic, Crash and Burn. So all the flyer rules. So Mr. Doomscythe, you are you are 220. I presume it includes all his weapons then. Yeah. So So that does include this weapon. So it is a lot of points, but don't let it put you off, because you're thinking, geez, it's the same points as, you know, a Land Raider or something like that. Well, or what a Land Raider used to be. But it is toughness 6, which isn't incredible, but it's got 12 wounds, it's got a 3-up save, it is hard to hit because it's a flyer, it's got living metal, so it's not going to die easily, plus all that firepower every turn at multiple targets is nasty, very nasty. So Doom size is still really good as well, so happy days there. They're just going to cost you a bit more now. Canoptic Race, obviously this is a big one, whether you took the Harvest formation or not, it's still, Race was still a big one. You took them in the Harvest, or you took them with the Destroyer Lord, or you took them on their own, however it worked. So they've got a 12-inch move, which is cool, so they kept that. Weapon skill, ability skill 3+, strength 6, toughness 5, 3 wounds, 3 attacks, leisure 10, 4+ save. So really, they're exactly the same as they used to be statistically, but they have got a 4+ save now. And I believe they only had 2 wounds, and they only got 3, so they're pretty good. Pretty good stat line, can't really argue with that. You can have a unit of up to 6. Each model is equipped with Vicious Claws. Vicious Claws are basically -1 AP, damage 1, strength to the user. So basically AP -1, and that's it. Any model may take a particle caster, transdimensional beamer, or whip coils. Wraith form, models in this unit have 3+ invulnerable save, and move across models and trainers if they were not there. So that's cool, so they've kept the 3+ models, so the 4+ save doesn't really matter. And they can still move fast, which is good. The particle casters are one-shot pistol, 12 inches, strength 6, well, sorry, one-shot turn, strength 6, AP dash, damage 1. Transdimensional beamer, 12 inches, heavy D3, strength 4, AP -3, damage 1. Each time you roll a 6+ to wound to the weapon, they get a mortal wound on top of any other damage. So transdimensional beamers are pretty good, and they are hitting on 3s. The problem is heavy D3. So you're going to be moving, so you're going to get the -1. Not that hitting on 4s is terrible, but you're never going to be staying still. And whip coils, strength to unit, user, AP 0, sorry, damage 1. If the bearer is slain in the fight phase before it has made its attacks, leave the model where it is. When its unit is chosen to fight in the phase, it can do so as normal. Once it's done so, it's removed. So they're not what they used to be. Obviously, they used to slow other people down. But again, you could argue they've actually got better. So when you're going back and forth choosing who strikes, the fact that you can go, I'll leave the Wraiths. You know, obviously you don't want to get them killed, but at the same time, the fact that you know you're going to strike means you can kind of leave them, because the other guys aren't going to strike before you. He chooses the combat to go first. It's not like they've got a higher initiative. So these guys are going to fight when they're chosen anyway. So you can focus on other things. So I think that does make them pretty good. Let's see how much they are. So they're 38 points. But I know this stuff does cost. So Vicious Claws are free. Whip Coils are 9 points. Pretty much everyone's going to take Whip Coils, I think. So if you're not, they're 38 points. There you go. As standard, off you go. Whip Coils are 9, so that makes them 47. Which is how I think most people will take them. But if you do want to add one of the shooting weapons, the Particle was a caster. Yeah, it was 4 points. Makes them 51, and the particle beamer will make them 57. So the particle caster, the one-shot turn pistol, strength 6, I think is effectively pointless. I know they can charge with it, but it's just not worth paying extra points for, I don't think, for a combat unit. Transdimensional beamer is a bit more interesting. It is 10 points a model, but the firepower is actually pretty decent. But again, you're going to be -1 to hit the whole time. And it is 10 more points a model, so if you have 6 and that is 60 more points invested in that unit. The interesting thing with them is their combat potential isn't as good as it used to be, because they're just -1 AP and that's it. They get 3 attacks, which is, I think, as I said, I think that's one more than they used to get, so that is good. They are always hitting on 3s, and they're strength 6, so it is good. But then -1 AP and damage 1 is not particularly inspiring. So they might have gone back to what they used to be right back in the day, which is more of a tar pit that did damage. It wasn't like a useless tar pit, but it was a tar pit that did damage rather than a unit that's going to come in and beat your face, which is what they'd become. I mean, they're not a ton of points. 47 isn't crazy. What's that, like 260-ish? But you've got to remember, units have generally gone up in points. So 260-ish for 6 of them with whip coils is pretty decent. But yeah, I don't think... What I'd say is I don't think Wraiths are a must-take anymore. They were a must-take, whereas now, without the Harvest formation, without Rending, or any equivalent of Rending, even though they've got a little bit of boost in their stat line, I think they're not auto-takes. I think you'll still see them in most armies, especially as everyone has the models anyway, but I don't think they're a must-take anymore. Okay, Canoptic Scarabs. So movement 10, which is good. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+. So Scarabs actually hit people well, which is interesting. I didn't think they'd have that. Strength, toughness 3, 3 wounds, 4 attacks, leisure 10, 6+ save. You can take up to 9 bases. They're equipped with feeder mana balls. They are a combat weapon, which is strength to the user, no AP, damage 1. If the target's toughness is higher than this attack's strength, which is very likely because it's strength 3, this weapon always wounds the target on a roll of 5+. So basically you never get a 6+ to wound, which is a nice little boon for such a small and you're about to see very cheap unit. I like this. I know it sounds funny to celebrate a unit not being as good anymore, but I really like the Scarabs. Are cheap now, so if you see them, they're going to be in big, bulky hordes, and I like the fact they go and just tie you up, absorb your firepower, and just they're annoying. They're not dangerous really anymore, but I like that because that's what they always should have been. So they're 13 points base, so 9 bases is 117. So you could even have 2 units of 9 bases and it cost you about 200 and something points, and they still wouldn't be terrible in combat. They sort of 4 attacks each, hit on 3s, wounding on worst case of 5 up. So it's not like they're rubbish, but they're not gonna truck a unit like they used to, just run up to vehicles and just eat them to death. But as I say, I do like that. The only thing I wouldn't have minded seeing is maybe... Oh no, so they are still quite good against vehicles. Sorry, because obviously the vehicle's toughness, I keep thinking they're on armor value still. The toughness is higher than its attack strength, which it will be. So they wound vehicles on 5+, remember. So they could swarm vehicles, especially lightly armoured ones, which again is what they would do. A Land Raider would just crush them under its treads. So Canoptic Scarabs, I think, nicely balanced, worth their 13 points, but also they're kind of what they should be, in my opinion. So I like that. Feel free to shout at me in the comments that you think they should be way better still, but I quite like that. Okay, Tomb Blades. So a couple of units left to go. So Tomb Blades, 14-inch moves, so these guys are rapid. 3+ weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength 4, toughness 5, which is nice because they're on a bike. 2 wounds, 1 attack, leisure 10, 4+ save. You can have up to 9 of them. They have 2 Gauss Blasters. So Gauss Blaster, 24 inches, rapid fire 1, strength 5, AP -2, damage 1. Nice solid weapon, especially as you're going to be in rapid fire a lot. So that could almost say, 2 shots just as standard because you're going to be in short range a lot because you can move so fast. Particle Beamer, 24 inches, assault 3, strength 6, AP damage 1. Not too bad. 3 shots a turn at strength 6. It's only damage 1 and no AP, but that's a lot of high strength coming in. And Tesla Carmine, 24 inches, assault 2, strength 5, AP damage 1. Each roll of a 6 gets 3 hits instead of 1. So that's not too bad either. So all the weapons are pretty decent. I'd probably stick with the Gauss Blaster or the Particle Beamer though, but it depends on points. They can also have shield veins, and they can take a Nebula Scope or Shadow Loom. You can't take both. So they have reanimation protocols, the Nebula Scope. Enemies attacked by a model with a Nebula Scope do not receive a bonus to their save from being held in cover. So that's awesome. Shadow Looms give them a 5+ invulnerable save. We'll have to see what points are like there, but I'd probably take the cover save because they've already got reanimation again, which is kind of an invulnerable save. Shield Veins give them a 3+ save, especially if you give them Shield Veins as well. You've got a 3+ save anyway. So Tomb Blades look quite promising, but we'll see how many points they are. Two blades, 24 points, but by the time you give them everything... Okay, so if you give them shield veins, it's 6 points, shadow looms, 5 points. And what was the other one? Nebula scope. It's 3 points. So the nebula scope, 3 points, absolutely no bonus to be in cover, is well worth it, especially when combined with the weapons they've got, because you've got like the particle agreement that has no AP, so you really don't want like power armor going up to a 2+ save. That's going to be annoying. Same with the Tesla carbine. You know, you don't want that bonus. So for 3 points, that makes them 27 points. And then probably have shield veins for 3+ save. That does make them 33 points though. So they are quite expensive is the only thing I'll say. They have to pay for their weapons as well. I hadn't thought about that. 9 points for the Gauze Blaster. Particle Beamers. 10 points. Tesla Carbine's free though, isn't it? No, it isn't. 9 points. Wow. I don't know that I'll be taking Tomb Blades. I think they're going to be 40 odd points the way you want to arm them. Because that's with any of the weapons, so whichever weapon you guys think's best. And Nebula Scope and Shield Veins, which is a 3-up save, and the lack of cover, they're 40 odd points. Dear me. Even if you give them no upgrades, so no Shield Veins, no Nebula Scope, so if they're power armor and they're behind cover, you're not going to be hurting them, and you've only got a 4+ save, you're still looking at 30 odd points, which is manageable. I think 30 odd points is potentially okay, although 10 of them would be 340 points. But you know what I mean? I think you can make a case for that. But if you want to give them these other things, I just don't think they're worth it. 40 odd points a model. You know, you get Terminators cheaper than that. Let me know what you think, guys, in the comment section, because I'm loath to dismiss them because I know they were really good in the last edition. And just because they've gone up in points, that doesn't make them bad necessarily. Depends how people use them, how good they are in the new edition. But I just think they seem to have got too expensive. If it was 30 odd points, even up to like 35, and you got Shield Veins, Nebula Scope, and a weapon, I could see that. But sneaking into the 40s, even mid 40s, is just too expensive, I think. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Okay, final unit. So we're on to Destroyers, which is the final unit in Fast Attack even. Movement 10 inches for the Destroyer and the Heavy Destroyer. Both weapon skill and political 3+. Both strength 4, toughness 5. Both 3 wounds. Both 2 attacks. Both leadership 10. 3+ save for both. You can have one. You have one Destroyer, but you can have an additional 5. You can also take a Heavy Destroyer in place of another Destroyer. So that's really cool. So you can actually take Destroyers with a Heavy Destroyer tagging on. Which is nice. Oh, you can't have Heavy Destroyer units, so that's the only way you can have them. Oh no, sorry, the Heavy Destroyers are up here in Heavy Support, so you can. But if you want a Heavy Destroyer, you can actually tag them on with the Destroyers, which is cool. Each Destroyer is armed with a Gauze Cannon. Each Heavy Destroyer is armed with a Heavy Gauze Cannon. The Gauze Cannon is 24 inches, Heavy 2, Strength 5, -3 AP, D3 damage. Heavy Gauze Cannon is 36 inches, Heavy 1, Strength 9, AP -4, damage D6. So the Heavy Gauze Cannon is basically a last cannon, so no arguments there. Hitting on 3s. Gauze Cannon's pretty nice as well. That D3 damage is really good. Because it was just Heavy 2, even though you hit on 3, Strength 5, -3 AP, you'd be like, that's nice, but it's not great. But that D3 damage is really nice. So these guys can start, obviously can hurt infantry, but they can really start tearing into monstrous creatures and vehicles. If you have a big unit of those, 5 Destroyers and a Heavy Destroyer, you're looking at 10 Destroyer shots a turn and a Heavy Destroyer shot. You know, you can really start rinsing stuff. Reanimation protocols, so toughness 5, 3 wounds, 3+ save, and reanimation protocols. You can benefit from resurrection orbs if they're in the area. Get a Destroyer Lord there, so Destroyer's looking good. Hardwired Hatred, you can reroll hits rolls of 1 for the unit. Brilliant. So you're basically hitting on 2s because you've got 3+ rerolling 1s. So they're incredibly reliable shooting. Repulsor platform. This unit can move and fire heavy weapons, not suffering the penalty to hit. Even better. So now all of them aren't hitting on -1, but they can move full 10 inches. Yeah, they're looking good. And they've got the fly rule. So they're a bit of anti-air potentially as well. Yeah, destroyers are really nice. Just don't like the models. I mean, they're not bad. The models are pretty decent, but they're just not up to date with the rest of the Necrons. Assuming these are the rules when the codex comes out and they get new models, which I presume they would, they might well be something for me. I just don't think I could get them to a model to be redone. Destroyers, 43 points. Heavy destroyer, also 43 points. I suppose that is right because they're roughly equal with the weapons. Gauss cannon, heavy Gauss cannon, you have to pay. The Gauss cannon's 20 points and the heavy Gauss cannon's 32. So in the end, there's 63 or 70 odd points a model. They strike me as a unit, first impression, that could be awesome, but you've got to go all in on it. You've got to go all in on it. You've got to go, I'm going to have 5 of them. I'm going to have a heavy destroyer as well. I'm going to put a destroyer lord in there so that they get the resurrection orb benefit. I'm going to really go for it with this unit. Because I think a unit 3 would be nigh on 200 points. 250, 260 if you're going to have heavy destroyer as well. And they'll last a while with toughness 5 and 3 wounds, but they won't last ages. And they'll kill a decent amount with those weapons, but they won't kill loads. And you'll just be sitting there thinking, that's 250 points. What am I really getting back for that? Whereas if you have 6 of them, I appreciate that's puts you up to like 370. But the damage these guys are going to kick out, and they're going to be so hard to kill. Especially if you then put Destroyer Lord in there, which I now means about 500 points for the unit. So it's a quarter of your army, but the firepower and survivability would be awesome. They wouldn't even be that bad in combat. They've got 2 attacks each. Obviously the Destroyer Lord would do the main hitting, but it's not even like they'd be terrible in combat. So I like destroyers. I like some updated models, but the rules are good. I just think you've got to go all in. If you're going to have them, go all in, really go for it. And yeah, I think that's the best advice with them. So there's the first impressions on fast attack guys and flyers. I think they're really good. I think Nightside, Doomscythe are both still awesome. I think destroyers have made a resurgence. I think Wraiths and Tombblades. Tombblades were a bit expensive and Wraiths have taken a bit of a hit ability-wise, but both are still, well, the Wraiths are still viable. The Tombblades I'm not sure about. Let me know what you think in the comments about that. Are they still viable? But yeah, I think both sections really effective. Still 2 of the strength of the Necrons. Take the flyers, take the fast attacks. They're all pretty good. So that's it for this part. We're going to do heavy support and Lords of War in the next part. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of the units. What are you going to be taking in your Necron army? Please comment, like and subscribe on the channel as well. Lots of likes, lots of subscribes, please, just so you know the channel gets going and more people see it, and I see that you guys are enjoying it. So I'm not thinking about what do I need to change. I can keep things the same. But if you do have any advice on what you would like to see, again, please put it in the comments. And I'll see you all in the next video.